Jerome, has the week off been good to your team?
We'll know on Saturday morning at 11. You know, yeah, it's been good for our staff, for our team. You know, we've got a lot of stuff accomplished that we need to do as a staff to continue building this program. And you know, yesterday was ugly because they had 2 and almost 3 days off, and so got the junk out yesterday. Had a better practice today, and you expect that. You know, so you know, think. You know, guys as healthy as they could possibly be right now, and so just looking forward to this, just continuing to build this thing.
Football people talk about rest advantage a whole lot. Do you think that's a thing in basketball?
Um, I think it all depends, like, because sometimes you can get in a rhythm and you're like you don't want the day off, and sometimes it's the other way. So, I mean, everybody responds differently, and every team responds differently. So, I don't know if there's a, like, you can put everybody in the same box or bottle and say this is going to help or this is not going to help.
You look at TCU, they're a team that scores a lot in fast break. If you turn it over, they'll make you pay. That's something you guys have struggled with this year. So what do you kind of think about that matchup?
Oh man, listen to you say it. I don't like it too much. You know, just you know, yeah, they are great in transition as they were last year, and like we couldn't guard them last year with Mike Miles on the floor, right? When Mike Miles wasn't there, we were able to win. This year, they are turning people over more, and they get out and they play fast. They've got they're the third oldest team in Division I basketball. You know, they're never out of a game. Like they just, it doesn't matter if they're down big. They just seem to just keep grinding. Jamie does a really good job with those guys. So they're tough to play against and tough to prepare for. And you know, we can't have live ball turnovers. That just plays in their favor. They get almost 8 points a game on putbacks. Not like dagger threes, just sticking it back. So we got to rebound the basketball, and so all the things you got to do to win games, man. It's another Big 12 game, and they're a great Big 12 team, and we can say that they're a great team, and they're a tournament team, and they're I think 5-5 in conference. You know what I mean? Like that's just this league, and so yeah, we have to protect our home court, and we have to play really well to win.
I also had one big picture question for you. It seems like winning on the road is always hard in the Big 12. This year, I would say it seems harder than usual. I ran the numbers. I think home teams are winning about 69% this year. That's up higher than it usually is. You have a reason in your head for that? Why just winning on the road seems much harder than usual this season?
Well, I think top to bottom our league is better, and the environments are better, and so it's and a little bit older too. You know, just so it's just the whole thing, man. I don't know how it is in other conferences. I just know like we don't look and go, man, I can't wait to go on that road game. You know, so yeah, don't have a definite answer for it other than you know this is the best league in America, and you know that's you wouldn't want it any other way.
At this point of the season, kind of later in the year, how hard is it to correct some of the ongoing mistakes that have been embedded in the team?
You know, if we had been together for 2 or 3 years, right, I would be like, man, this is just who we are. But collectively, we really hadn't all been together till October. You know, no, maybe September, right? And last year we didn't have our whole team together till October. So I heard one coach I was having a conversation with. He said, you know, Jerome, we're still teaching in January and February, whereas in normal, before the portal and all of this, you know, you did your teaching because you had guys, you know, for a year and then through the summer and into the season, and you'd kind of been together for a while. So there's still a lot of learning going on. So there's still a lot of opportunity for correction. I'm not saying drastic changes, but we can keep getting better in the areas we need to get in.
Do you foresee a point with your program that, like a teeter-totter, the freshman recruiting will start to, because you've got 3 freshmen forward at Dorian coming up through the program that eventually getting experience out of the portal will be less important because you're growing experience?
Man, it sounds good, right? It sounds good. It's kind of like a couple months ago we said, hey, college athletics is kind of settling down, right? We're gonna have 4 conferences, and we're gonna kind of know where it's at. Looks like everybody have 16 to 20 teams, and today we sit here and we go, man, we don't know what's gonna happen in it, right? And so, I mean, I'd love to tell you, yeah, that's what's gonna happen, but we don't know because of the ever-changing landscape of college athletics. And so all we can do is every day go 1-0. And when the day's over, we look at it and say, okay, what do we need to do tomorrow to go 1-0? And I think that's how we have to approach every season.
What's the long-term thoughts on Quez? Is he shut down for the season totally?
Well, it's how do I say this? Quez is getting healthier, and there are some rehabilitation things that he's doing that will allow him to see where the knee is at and how it will be moving forward. And so, but everything he's doing is rehab related.
You mentioned the couple of extra days off. It reminded me of you said you gave like the entire team a day off. Like, don't even think about basketball. Coaches don't come into the office, and it was a day off for everybody. How was that handled with the players? Did you say, hey, try to get some shots in, but you guys have the day off from practice? How did that work with the extra days off?
No, we take a day off every week, and we observe a Sabbath, and that's important to me, and it's important to our staff, and I want them to focus on their families and get away from work and get refreshed. You look at some of the major corporations across the country and the world. If Chick-fil-A can do, a day off, and everybody thought they were crazy for doing it, even in their restaurants that are in the airport, right? And be as successful as they've been, then you got to take something from that, and there's a biblical principle that goes along with it. And so for our guys, they had a day off where it was nothing, but then the other 2 days were, they on with their GAs, they come in, they get up shots. Phil is available for a lift, Luke rehab, those kind of things. Film is available for them through Just Play, and so those guys they're still doing stuff. It's just not the grind of a practice where you're going for 2 hours, bodies on bodies, that kind of thing.
Coach, what's been your message to the team right now?
For some reason, I don't think everybody really believes that we say, hey, it's a 1-game season. It doesn't matter if we win or we lose. We put it in a box and we move on, right? That is how you have to. If it changes, if my message changes throughout the season, then all the stuff we said earlier didn't matter, and the guys sense that panic and they feel like we're in a really good situation. Okay, we're where we thought we could be right now. Okay, we're 6-5. We have 5 and 6, and we have 4 more home games. Right? I feel like we're in a good spot. I really believe, and I know people have crunched numbers and did different things like that. I don't think it matters. 9 wins in this league, and you're gonna go to the NCAA tournament. And I think there are gonna be some teams in our league that have 7 or 8 wins that will get in also. And so my message is, let's go 1-0, right? Let's go 1-0 in our film session. Let's go 1-0 in practice. They got school right now. I want them to go 1-0 and taking care of that business. We're going to come back this evening and watch some more film. I want to go 1-0 then, right? And if we keep stacking those good 1-0s, then the results will take care of itself.
Do you feel at times that they're playing with a lot of pressure on themselves and not playing free?
I think it's different for different people, and this college athletics, there's pressure, right? There's pressure. There's the pressure that, but I don't know if anybody puts more pressure on our guys than they put on themselves. You know what I mean? And as a staff, nobody puts more pressure on us than we put on ourselves. And so it's just, how do you use that pressure? Some pressure busts pipes, and some pressure makes diamonds. And we feel we got the kind of guys that the pressure is going to make diamonds out of them.
Great, thank you.
Is an 11 a.m. game way better than a 9 p.m. Central game?
Well, I personally think I like an 11 a.m. game. Now, I didn't like our last 11 a.m. game, right? But I normally like early games because then you get the dub, and then you get to spend the rest of the day watching everybody else feel the pressure that he just talked about, right? Play their games. You get to watch your score go across the ticker at the bottom. Now, in the case of at Houston, that really wasn't a good 11 a.m. game. So we're going to see how we respond to this one. But, yeah, I'd rather play earlier than later, me personally. But I'm not the one on the floor. It's the players.
You got somebody trying to get your attention.
I just want to know who you got on to more, me or Marquise Noel.
Say that again?
Who did you get on to more, me or Marquise?
Keith, it ain't even close. Yeah.
You said the guys, as the team, are healthier than they've ever been. How much healthier would you say they are?
Man. So in the game of basketball, right, once you start practice in October, you're never 100%. Okay, so if you're 85%, you're healthy. You're 100%. And for some people, 70% of them is better than 100% of somebody else. So, that just all is rather. But everybody across the country has aches and pains, and something is hurting them. But there's a difference between, pain and an injury. It's just a difference. And injury means like you can't go. Pain is everybody's dealing with it. So we just keep going.
I also want to ask, after the BYU game, you said in your radio show you were really happy with how together the team played. Can you just elaborate on that, what you saw in that game that made you think the team was coming together even though they lost?
Just the fight, the communication. There wasn't a lot of finger pointing, no palms up. It was next play. Guys just – I just thought we just kept fighting. And the game plan was that we could wear them down, and in the last – we thought 10 minutes. It turned out being the last 7 minutes of the game. Like, they would wear down, and we'd be able to, go get a run, regardless of what the score was. And the guys never lost sight of that. And they kept plugging away. And, it turned out we got down 1 minute to go, 2-point game, and we just messed it. I'll give them credit. They made a couple good plays. We can look back at it and say, fellas, we didn't execute in the last minute of the game because we knew what was going to happen, and it was on us. But it was a 15-round fight, and they got to throw the last punch, and so.
Coach, with the tragedy that happened in Kansas City yesterday happening so close to home, was there a message or anything that you had for your guys about that?
First of all, my thoughts and prayers go out to all the families that were affected by that. My admiration goes out to those heroes that jumped on the shooters and, didn't consider their own well-being to protect so many, and grateful for men and women like that. With our guys, we really I feel like as a staff we do a really good job of teaching them to value every day, that tomorrow's not promised. And because we can look around our own room and see that we're missing guys that used to be here. And so for that, we're very aware of that. But our thoughts and prayers are with those families, and thankful for the first responders that were there to protect. And in a time when you're celebrating a championship by an incredible team that showed unbelievable guts and character and brought a whole state together, you hate to see those things happen. And but thankful for those who were there to help protect.
Also, switching gears, but with Keontae Johnson getting ready to go, G League All-Star game, what do people need to know about him?
Yeah, not just Keontae, but Marquise also. They're both going to be there, and that's such an honor, right? And it is so cool. So proud of both of those guys. You know, it was cool seeing Keontae he came down and saw us at Oklahoma State, and that was a lot of fun to see him, and just really proud of those guys and thankful for what they meant to us, this program, our staff, me personally. And you know, the coolest thing though is when you ask those guys, you know, they're living part of their dreams, but they would trade it to spend another year here, and they both voiced that, and that is really cool to know that we as a staff and our program has had that kind of effect on young men, and they tell others, man, stay as long as you can.
Meant to ask this right after Tim did, but with Quez, do you think he's open to the idea of redshirting and playing again next season? Is that kind of the goal?
I think everything's on the table for him, as you know what he's looking at. He's going to have, you know, options both ways, and we'll talk about it at the end of the season and decide what's best for him and for our program.